Charles Webb inviting you to join me on Monday nights at 8 for Season 2 of Inside Bermuda Homes, a program showing how Bermuda lives. That's Monday nights at 8 o'clock on ZBM TV 9 for Inside Bermuda Homes.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV 9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, October the 23rd. I'm Tarai Trott in for Diane Brewer, and thanks for joining us tonight. Confirmation tonight that Belco has not been misrepresenting the state of its plant and equipment. That confirmation takes the form of a report commissioned by the regulatory authority. Gary Moreno has been following the story and tells us more in this report.
Based on the date of the report, the regulatory authority would have known since early this summer, as the document states, new generation capacity is required as a matter of urgency to replace the generating units that are planned for retirement in the next 2 to 3 years. Since without this new generation capacity, the security and reliability of the island's electricity supply could be at risk, particularly during periods of high demand, which are mainly in the summer months. The report indicates that 7 of Belco's operational generation units are more than 30 years old and at the end of their useful life, while another 2 units are older than 20 years and have been unreliable in recent years. The report goes on that while Belco has done well to maintain the equipment as best it could by replacing and repairing ancillary equipment, with units being decades old, replacement rather than repair would be the most cost-effective option. A recent repair exercise to one of these engines was expected to last just over 3 weeks, turned into 2.5 months at a cost of more than $1 million. The report recommends that Belco perform a feasibility study and cost-benefit analysis to determine which of the older units can be kept operational on a part-time basis to support electricity generation. The report, prepared by United Kingdom company Ricardo Energy and Environment, was compiled using data provided by Belco as well as site visits and staff interviews during March of this year. But while the report paints a worrying picture, its authors state the site visits allowed for cursory inspections but were insufficient to verify the information provided by the utility. And the report highlights some of the troubling issues affecting the equipment and which pose a serious threat not only to the island's electricity supply, but also life and limb. These include control system component failure, leaks in the cooling water system, failure of cooling water pumps, as well as failure of fuel and lube oil pumps. The report continues, parts for the outdated equipment have now become difficult to source, as in some cases they've been discontinued by the manufacturer, adding to cost and delays in repairs. The reliability of 7 of the units based on the report is considered to be good. For 5 more, it's considered average, 2 are considered poor in terms of reliability, and 1 very poor. Now, Belco is awaiting the issuing of 2 licenses from the regulatory authority, one being a transmission, distribution and retail license, the other being a bulk generation license. The company is also awaiting a rate tariff approval from the RA to determine what it will need to implement recommendations contained within its capital plan, including installation of new generation plant, transition to cheaper and more environmentally friendly liquefied natural gas, and the upgrade and replacement of its aged transmission and distribution infrastructure. It remains unknown what the RA intends to do with the findings of its own report and how this might influence its dealings with Belco going forward. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And we'll have more on that report commissioned by the regulatory authority in subsequent reports. The controversial airport redevelopment signed between Canada and Bermuda is tonight under scrutiny by an official review board. Walter Rabban, the Minister of Transport and Regulatory Affairs, said today a review of the airport plan began once his Progressive Labour Party won power in July. The minister agrees that Bermudians want a new airport, and this review is a step closer to finding a better deal.
It is not forgotten that the PLP in opposition and others raised points of concern about the information that was being provided that questioned the circumstances which this agreement was made, some of which were revealed by documents obtained through official Freedom of Information requests made in Canada. The refusals by the former government to abide by requests made by the Public Accounts Committee, even under threat of summons, appeared to show that they had little respect for the legislative system of accountability. The conduct and contempt shown by the former finance minister to Parliament, refusing to answer questions and misleading by omission, did nothing to ease the concern and unpopularity shown by so many Bermudians for this agreement. Despite public opposition, shameful events which saw members of Parliament sneaking in the House of Assembly under the cover of darkness, police officers surrounding the Sessions House, and the pepper spraying of peaceful citizens, the former government did not pause to reflect on the wisdom of entering into this agreement.
Asked who would be involved in the review process of the airport deal, the minister replying,
"The review of the agreement is underway under my ministry's leadership in partnership with the Attorney General's chambers. The review is being conducted by the Bermuda Airport Authority, two representatives which are here today. The authority, on behalf of the government and the people of Bermuda, oversees the performance of Skyport, regulates fees, provides retained government services, and procures energy for the facility. The authority has already engaged P3 experts, Lee Fisher, to assist with the analysis of the project agreement."
The minister says the review is anticipated to be completed by December.
When you shop online, the cheapest, quickest, and easiest way to bring your packages into Bermuda is with U.S. Express at mailboxes.
I enjoy the service a lot. It's very fast.
U.S. Express is always on time, and they always call you to come get your goods on time.
The cashback, when you get enough deliveries, is really nice. It's an added bonus.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account at www.mailboxesunlimited.com today.
Looking for a challenge, new adventures, forge lifelong friendships, and earn an extra $5,000 to $6,000 a year? Be a part of a proud and honorable legacy of service. The Royal Bermuda Regiment is seeking volunteers. Let's go, guys! Call us at 238-1045 or visit bermudaregiment.bm. The Royal Bermuda Regiment, your regiment.
No change in the status of the ongoing Hamilton Docks industrial dispute, which began last Thursday. Polaris Holdings, which operates the docks, saying in a statement today that all essential goods have been offloaded for collection. 2 container ships left on Friday, one with only empty containers and a second returning to its point of origin with all unloaded container cargo except the essential goods. Polaris confirms there were no ships in dock over the weekend. The Oleander arrived today and the stevedores unloaded perishable items and essential goods. Negotiations are ongoing and shippers and agents will be updated. The company says they are unable to discuss specific personnel matters as part of its company privacy policy. However, the company will update stakeholders on relevant progress as needed. As we reported when the story broke last week, the industrial action follows the dismissal of an assistant superintendent. It is understood workers are seeking to have their colleague reinstated to his former position, or if not, to another position within the company, even if it means a demotion. Management at Polaris Holdings Limited have reportedly deemed the workers' request as unacceptable. Well, the new Progressive Labor Party government has revived the national certification scheme in a bid to ensure opportunities for Bermudians. Education Minister Diala Rabane, during a news conference today, revealing Parliament was advised last year that the national certification program had been dormant for far too long. Minister Rabane stating that all residents working in the designated occupations such as welders, automotive service technicians, electricians, and others must register with Workforce Development and pay the $265 fee to be certified by November the 3rd.
Individuals should expect to participate in some form of training and/or assessment process which will allow evaluators to determine one's level of competency and skills. All persons who have expired certification must ensure that they register to recertify. National certification is valid for 5 years. Local tradesmen not having any formal training or documentation of courses taken will be assessed by a panel of local industry professionals known as the Industry Assessment Panel. Any local tradesman in need of skill set upgrades to achieve certification will be given access to training opportunities through the Department of Workforce Development. Anyone identified as needing additional training to achieve certification will be given up to 1 year to satisfy certification requirements. Staff at the Department of Workforce Development are ready to assist with anyone needing to register for certification, and financial needs for certification will be assessed to assist individuals, to assess locals on an individual basis.
The minister adamant in stating that the certification process should not be viewed as a hindrance to businesses and employees.
It will enhance the quality of workmanship in Bermuda and produce greater opportunities for Bermudians over time, provided that they are willing to participate in the training that aligns with certification. We trust that the people of this country appreciate the sacrifices that must be made by individuals and businesses in order to achieve the desired goal of not just getting everyone back to work, but improving the professional talent and workmanship that will be sought after both locally and internationally. The consumer is entitled to the benefit of receiving a good product or service.
Settled conditions expected on the island through to the middle of the week thanks to a high-pressure system from the north. Here's AccuWeather with the details.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group, and we have a nice stretch of weather. It's a little breezy, though, in Bermuda today, and that's the case again this evening here. We do have relatively dry weather, though. That's a nice change in the wind here for us. The wind is from the east. You can see the clouds are well off to the south at this point. We don't expect to see much cloud cover tonight. So as we zoom on in on our fair island, here we are with temperatures right around 75 to about 76 in Hamilton. Humidity is a bit lower than it was back at the end of last week. Humidity 65 to 70%. The winds are active, though, from the east at 15 to 20 knots. Water temp 78 degrees. On the inside, we're looking at waves pretty manageable, 1 to 2 footers out there for the ocean kayaking crowd. But if you head out on the outside, 4 to 7 footers are rolling, and that's the result of that active wind for the most part. Tonight, we do expect to see maybe a brief sprinkle or shower, but it will not be long lasting. Most of the crowd will be in good shape out there tonight, 72. And then tomorrow, we're looking nice again, 78 degrees, sunshine, some clouds. It will be breezy, and there may be a few and far between spotty showers. They don't look widespread, though. The tide is out right now, and as we look ahead tonight around 11:48 p.m., we'll have another high tide. And then for the early risers tomorrow, if you want to go out and about, a big beach at low tide number 2 will be at around 5:38 a.m. That's if we count the first low tide right about now. So we're looking good out there for some swimming or boating, especially on the west side where the wind is not creating as large waves. But the waves are pretty big on the east side. So just be aware of that and the rip current concerns and all that comes with that. When it comes to the travel forecast, we have a rain and wind maker through the eastern part of North America. So Toronto, New York, and eventually in Boston, we're seeing the wind and rain pick up. It's relatively warm warm in these areas, though. Atlanta quieting back down. You'll notice Atlanta, Georgia, a fairly southern latitude, is actually a little bit cooler than it is up in Boston and in Toronto right now. As we look ahead at the Tuesday forecast, showers and storms are out there into Miami, and it's a little wet in London. Across the Caribbean, Jamaica is running warm, scattered showers and storms. They're a little more likely into Trinidad and Tobago, with the windwards pretty active with a tropical wave passing that area. As that wave makes its way into the western Caribbean at the end of the week, we need to keep an eye on things, as at the end of the week there could be some tropical development out that way. But there's nothing too imminent, and certainly for us here in Bermuda, we're in pretty good shape. So just some brief, fleeting rain showers that will not last long on Tuesday or Wednesday. Upper 70s out there. There will be an increase in rain. It looks very wet Thursday and Friday, with frequent showers during that time frame as the front crossing the eastern U.S. makes its way out into our area. And as it rolls in, we'll see the rain increase. And just a little reminder, you can always get more on Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105 for music, news, and some weather. Have a good one.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Visit Bermuda's #1 furniture store today. Big Savings Zone, Southside St. David's.
Island Soul, where fashion meets comfort. Island Soul provides fashionable footwear hand-selected by our podiatrist that offers premium comfort. Located at 60 Victoria Street, Hamilton, Island Soul contains a friendly trained staff prepared to assist you with our vast selection of footwear, both male and female, with all sizes and widths available. Compression and travel socks, amongst other accessories, are also available in addition to a shoe modification and repair service, making Island Soul a one-stop shop for all your footwear needs.
FIFA World Cup 2018 is the showcase of the world's most popular sport, and Bermuda Broadcasting Company will deliver all 64 games in high definition. This is a great opportunity to present your ad during the most prestigious sporting event. For more information, email sales@bermudabroadcasting.com.
Two severely malnourished former carriage horses are getting a second chance on life after being rescued by the Bermuda SPCA. While this pair are lucky to have survived neglect, the SPCA says they need the public's help to raise the flag on other cases.
Thanks to an anonymous tip from a member of the public, the Bermuda SPCA's inspector was notified of the suspected neglect of these two former carriage horses, Charlie and Arthur.
When we first saw them, they were incredibly skinny and in very poor condition. Their teeth were in very bad shape. They're skin and bone, effectively, and very bad skin conditions. They've now had 6 weeks of food, and they're still looking very, very skinny. But they're an awful lot better. I mean, they're doing really well. They've had their teeth done. They've been eating twice a day. They have beet pulp and hay, and they've had their hooves trimmed, and they're very, very happy.
The pair are 20 years old and spend most of their lives pulling carriages on Front Street. It is retirement that can lead to situations such as these, according to Ms. Haycock, which could be prevented through a horse registry.
I think a horse register and pony register would be a first start, because I think if we had records like we do of dogs as to what the existence of all the horses and ponies on the island, we'd be able to keep a closer eye on them, and as SPCA would and our inspector would. But we could proactively educate and give assistance to those who were having financial difficulty. Perhaps we would maybe help find somebody who could look after the ponies. Or at least get a better solution for these animals.
While Charlie and Arthur's current caretakers, young Alejandra, Natalia, and Indigo, are doing a great job, the public can also contribute.
We've estimated, I think it's about $600 per horse per month, and that could go up depending on vet care. Hay, I think it's $400 per month per horse, so those are just the types of things that we would really love to have donations for.
You can donate online at www.spca.bm. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And now let's join Earl Bazin with a look at the weekend that was in sports.
Bermuda's under-17 women's national team went to battle in the CONCACAF Caribbean under-17 final match in Haiti last evening. They were up against the host, with both teams already assured a spot in the CONCACAF women's under-17 final in Nicaragua. In front of a large crowd, Haiti was able to win 4-1, with Bermuda's lone goal coming from Nia Christopher in the first half. The Bermuda team is scheduled to arrive back home this evening from Miami. In Premier Division football yesterday at Bernard Park, Crossroads won their second Premier Division match, picking up a 2-1 win over the North Village Rams. Taryn Frey had given the North Village Rams the lead in the 35th minute, but Tashai Davis Jones equalized for Crossroads when he converted from the penalty spot. In the 66th minute, Timon Daniels found the back of the net, thus earning Crossroads a big win. In other Premier Division action, it was the Boulevard Blazers 2, Young Men's Social Club 2, Dandytown Hornets 3, Devonshire Cougars 0, Robin Hood 3, Flanagan's Onions 1, and on Friday night up at the Somerset Cricket Club, it was the Somerset Trojans 0, PHC Zebras 4. In First Division play at the Wellington Oval, visitors BAA defeated the St. George's Colts 4-0. In other First Division play, it was St. David's 2, Hamilton Parish 1, Paget Lions 3, Wolves 0, Somerset Eagles 4, Devonshire Colts 1, Island Rangers 2, and Southampton Rangers 7. Bermuda's Nicole Mitchell finished with a bronze medal competing in the women's road race at the Elite Caribbean Cycling Championships in Martinique. On Saturday, Mitchell clocked a time of 2:09:57. Following the women's road race, Dominic Mayo competed in the men's time trial, where he finished 11th. He was clocked at 33:13. Yesterday, Mitchell finished the women's time trial in 8th, stopping the clock in a time of 28:44, and Mayo was one of 22 cyclists not to finish the men's time trial. The Bermuda ITF Junior Open Tennis Tournament came to an end at the WER Joel Tennis Stadium on Saturday. In an exciting boys under-18 final, American Andrew Dale needed 3 sets to defeat fellow American Alexander Kiefer. Dale won the first set 6-3, but Kiefer would bounce back to win the second set 7-6. Dale would find his form again and win the third set 6-3. Delray Rollins might not have had the start he was looking for with the bat, but he did have a say in the bowling for Sydney Cricket Club in their Premier Cricket First Grade League match. Playing against Capleton Town Camden at the Raby Cricket Ground, Sydney had won the toss last week and elected to bat, and they scored 363 for 9 in their 96 overs. This week, it was Capleton Town Camden's turn to bat, and they scored 281 for 7 in their 96 overs to draw the match. Rollins had bowling figures of 14 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 40. The BHPA Full Horse Jumping Show took place at the National Equestrian Center on Visa Street yesterday. Cody Rigo won the Low Hunter Horse Under Saddle class, riding Casanova, with Lucas Bridges and Natural Selection finishing in second, and Rhoda Perez finished third, riding Whitman Am. The 2017-18 Bermuda Harness Pony Racing season took place at the National Equestrian Center on Visa Street on Friday evening. Carissa Rabane in the Bike of Rail Patrol won the 104-4 and faster time bar class, clocking a time of 105-1. Ryan Burrows and Simsfield's Hard Times was second in 105-3, and Christian Truin in the Bike of It's All About Me finished third in 105-4. The Bermuda National Athletics Association's cross-country season saw action Saturday morning in the Botanical Gardens. Chase Smith laid down yet another gauntlet when he stormed to victory in the men's open division, clocking a time of 21-11. Sean Trott finished second, recording a time of 22-25, and Damian Gould finished third, clocking 23-37. Gail Lindsay won the women's open division with a time of 19-13. Kimberly McIver finished second in 22-27, and Samantha Neron finished third in 24-41. A team of 20 golfers from the historic Clearview Golf Course in Ohio, led by former LPGA and current PGA teaching pro Dr. Renee Paul, took on members of the Bermuda Ocean View Golf Course for a 2-day event at the Ocean View Golf Course. The Bermuda Ocean View Golf team defeated the visitors 162.5 to 77.5. Members of the Shark Swimming Club were in action over the weekend in Canada, competing in the Richmond Hill Full Classic. A total of 28 medals were captured during the meet. The star of the meet for the Sharks was Daniel Kuntz, who won 7 gold and 3 silver medals in the competition. The Bermuda Karting Club season continued at the Rubis Southside Motorsports Park yesterday, where Nathan DaCosta won all 3 races in the cadet class, with Jason North taking the checkered flag 3 times in the tag senior class. Jeff Souza drove to victory 3 times in the L206 Masters class, with Scott Barnes winning all 3 races in the L206 senior class. The Bermuda Hockey Federation season is well underway, with the Budgies getting their season off to a flying start, picking up a 15-0 win over a young Sandpipers team. Bermuda national squad player Jasmine Patterson led the team to victory, scoring 6 times, while her national team teammate Alex Francis added a hat-trick. Youngster Sydney Fisher also added a hat-trick. The Budgies would get single strikes from Robin Stemple, Amy Fox, and Angela Dunstan. Week 3 of the Bermuda National Archery League saw action continue at the Archery Center on Southside. In what can only be described as near-perfect conditions, 4 players went over the 300 mark, with the highest score of 360 possible. Bernard Wade III scored a 318 in the adult recurve, 30-meter target size, 60-centimeter class, while Jaden Roberts recorded a score of 317 in the junior recurve, 20-meter target size, 60-centimeter class. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
The Doghouse, where we all end up, presents Undefeated Bermuda. Let's get ready to rumble! In the red corner, representing Bermuda, it's Nikki Nifty Bascoul! And in the green corner, representing Portugal, it's Fabio Hands of Stone Costa. International referee Steve Smarter officiating the event. It's live at the Fairmont, Southampton on November 11th. Doors open at 7 p.m. Event starts at 8 p.m. Free Bermuda and Portugal flags at the gate. Tickets are $75 for general admission, $150 VIP ringside. Tickets sold at Sports Source Hamilton and Wharf, Audiovisual Hamilton and Somerset, Fairmont, Southampton. Tickets sold online at ptix.bm. Sponsored by the Doghouse, Tesaris Gas Station, the Royal Gazette, the Sports Source, Audiovisual Electronics, Sousa Landscape, the Island Shack, Fresh and Hungry, Arnold's Family Market. See you at Undefeated.
Hi, I'm Charles Webb, inviting you to join me on Monday nights at 8 for Season 2 of Inside Bermuda Homes, a program showing how Bermuda lives. That's Monday nights at 8 o'clock on ZBM TV 9 for Inside Bermuda Homes.
A 30-year-old Pembroke man injured in a road crash with a car is recovering in stable condition in the hospital's intensive care unit. The incident took place on Saturday, October the 14th, at the junction of Elliott Street and Union Street in Hamilton. Meanwhile, at last check, the 21-year-old Pembroke man, 22-year-old Pembroke man, and 22-year-old Warwick man hurt when the car they were traveling in crashed into a truck on October 17th on St. John's Road near Tatum's Hill, had been discharged from the hospital after receiving treatment for their injuries. Inquiries into both incidents continue, and any witnesses are asked to contact the main police number on 295-0011. And that's our broadcast for tonight. I'm Tarai Trott. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.